Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Go ahead and sponsor this video by hitting that like button. Hey, there's a lot going on today, and I'm going to cover a lot here. I'm going to try to educate you guys and get on here early. Listen, I'm titling this Sell It All. Just sell it all. Just sell it all instead of complaining. This is the stock market and crypto, where the market goes up, it goes down. If you enjoy the good times, you have to suffer through the bad times. Those of us that are wise, we understand that the bad times, in some way, shape, or form, are the good times. It's just like that song, These Are the Good Times. So now, what's going on right now? Dow drops 300 points, S&P falls 500 points for a fourth day of tech slump. Bitcoin briefly dips below 90K. Now, I don't know where it is when you see Bitcoin. I don't know. And at this point, actually, in this part of the game, I'm not going to say I don't care, but all I'm going to say is I have a plan, which I have not sold my Bitcoin because I have a plan. All right. So now what's happening? Stock market is too expensive. It's overinflated. And there's a handful of stock, mainly 7 stock, that is holding the market up. Actually, those 7 stocks are getting beat down, and it's tech. And it's because of the quote unquote AI bubble. Okay. And big tech is so much money is in those 7 stock instead of it being broadening out. It's just like our financial system. 5% of the people own more than half of the wealth here in this country. And it's unbalanced and the market is skittish. Okay, so let's look at this. I got the NASDAQ here. We can see that it's down, but I got some big tech players in there. Nvidia, Tesla, Meta, Apple, all right? And you have all of those going on. I'm not doing Meta this round. Zuckerberg just moves slow. He spends big piles of money. I did buy a few when it dipped, but then I just got out of my positions. I never had a lot. I put more into Nvidia and Tesla, etc. So I'm just going to free more money up, and well, I did freed money up. And I'm just going to wait and dollar cost average into actually value cost average into other big tech. Now, what I'm going to do right here, good people, is I'm going to go into crypto, but then I'm going to come back to stock. But I think you should watch this even if you're not in crypto, because Bitcoin has been a forerunner for the market. All right. It's been where the market is heading. Here, like in the last year, it's been going there first, right? So we got 93. Okay, you just read the report that said briefly dipped under 90K, which it did. Now we're at 93, up 1.35%. Ethereum, I'm looking at the 24 hours, okay? The last 24 hours. Ethereum's up 5% over the last 24 hours. XRP 4.5. But we're not going to get happy because that's only 93. But we're also not going to get sad because some of us was buying it at 19,000, 20,000, 25,000. And so some people that are new getting in don't understand that a lot of you and I been in here. We have gave up some of our gains, but we're still knocking the ball out of the park. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play for you something that a gentleman said about crypto, and I want you to take a listen.
Is this crypto winter coming early here?
Look, we just had a long 6-month rally, so some consolidation I think is very reasonable. Crypto tends to have these characteristics of risk on assets, so it's also pulling back on macro action. And you guys have just talked about the large macro concerns like the AI capex fear causing the equity pullback, the fears around credit, the fears around the Fed's plan for rate cuts. And because Bitcoin is a higher growth asset, it also has higher downsides. I think to put it in context, Bitcoin has seen multiple 30% drawdowns during any typical uptrend because of that higher volatility. I'd say it's too early to call whether we're entering a sustained downtrend, but certainly this would be this would be relatively typical for any drawdown. So what we already saw is that a lot of the leverage has been taken out of the Bitcoin ecosystem recently. Earlier in October, crypto had its own idiosyncratic issue with a large deleveraging event. And so we've already seen a lot of that pain has already happened with the deleveraging. Now, naturally, as things go down, there is a little bit of negative reflexivity and certainly market sentiment that drives it. But we feel pretty strongly that, especially now that 16% of Bitcoin is held by institutions, which is up from basically 0% last cycle, we think Bitcoin is going to be increasingly less sensitive to and less likely to have volatility. And over time, that a 30% drawdown is actually it will become larger and larger. Will feel larger and larger over time. We'll see smaller and smaller drawdowns.
Yeah.
There it is, exactly what he's talking about, what I've been talking about, the 30% drawdowns. We're on Bitcoin, I'm on a daily. You could see from the top to the bottom, we have a 30% drawdown. Look at that. So, hey, it's happened before. I'm not going to go back in and show you guys like I normally do. I've showed it so many times and people always say, Larry, why do you keep showing us this? There's a reason why I keep showing that, because you have to look back to get some sort of understanding of where you're going and understand that this is crypto. It's not stock. And it has done these 30% pullbacks. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. You guys saw the video yesterday. It wasn't looking good, but I know I have a plan. The thing is, and the people that's in the most fear, we're all fearful. I'm going to keep it real. We're all fearful. But the people that's in the most fear don't have a plan. And I have a plan. That's why I asked you guys, what are your plans? Because our plans may not be the same and we could both win. All right. So we got the president saying this.
To listen to what he said.
We are talking to various people, and frankly, I'd love to get the guy currently in there out right now. But people are holding me back. He's done a terrible job, hurting housing a little bit. The truth is, we've been so successful, we've blown past his interest rate stupidity. He's been wrong. That's why I call him too late. He's too late. Jerome too late Powell.
So I don't expect much to come out of this. You guys know before when he tried to fire Jerome Powell, the market did not like that and tanked off. I just believe he just needs to just leave that alone. Pretty much by the end of this year, I would say after Q1 of next year, he's a lame duck. He's done after that anyway. And then Trump will have his guy in there. And the market is forward looking, okay? And so we just let it take its course. I do believe that the Fed is late. He was late. That part is correct. I stand with him on that. Regardless of who's right, who's wrong, whose side you're on, I agree with him. The Fed was too late to raise, and he was too late after the money printing and too late to lower. All right, good people. I just take a second and let you guys know StockUpU, and it is everything you need to know to make money. All right, StockUpU is going to be again the only link below. Let me show you guys what we did today. Right, what we did today this morning. I just wanted to get about 20%. We got 30. Well, actually, we got 42%. I grabbed a few shares, rinse and repeat. Rigetti, like we did yesterday. Then I got back in again. I didn't show this amount. This is a lot of, share contracts, but it was inexpensive and you got to play with your own money size. So then I got back in and did another 22%. But had I went in and did that at 42%, it would have been a nice day. Okay. And then I actually sold and I have a few in there. So I'm going to end this and hopefully I'm not in trouble, but I do have stop losses. Always, always, always stop losses. Okay. Now I'm going to say a few things. Number one, I always like to teach a lesson, and I want to teach you something called value cost averaging. value cost averaging. So a lot of people dollar cost average, where they just buy. It's the same amount set every single time, and they buy. And I have some stock ETFs that my account buys them every single week, right? And but I mainly do what's called value cost averaging. Okay? And so here you could see this. Value cost averaging is an investment strategy where you adjust your contribution amount each period to meet predetermined portfolio value growth targets. So let me just put it simple to you guys. You know what? Let me pull up a chart. This is going to help. Okay. So this is what I call value cost averaging. Remember what I said about the 200-day moving average. Okay. And I have it on the daily. Okay. But 200-day moving average, let's just go to the weekly. All right. I got QQQ here. Let's just go to the weekly. If you truly want to build wealth, you do something called value cost averaging. And what that simply is you dollar cost averaging, your dollar cost averaging all the while. And this is what I did in crypto, and I do it with Bitcoin. So let's just say you're doing $10 a week, $100 a week, $1,000 a week, by your income level, right? And then it starts to go down. What I do is I buy more here. So let's just say you're doing $50 a week here, right? When it starts to go down here, now I'm doing $100 a week, okay? And if it dips below the 200-day moving average, now I'm doing $200 a week. And you say, Larry, what about if you run out of dry powder here? Well, you shouldn't run out of dry powder here, because I teach keep money in your investment accounts, and you should be putting money into your investment accounts every single time you get paid. And I don't put it all to work. I keep a lot of money in. As a matter of fact, I've said this before, when the market is high, for every dollar you put in, you only invest 25%, keeping the 75% for dips like this when the market is top heavy like it is now. Because if we have a flush, then you could triple down your dollar cost average, right? Because you're using your dry powder. This is a long-term strategy. And then what happens is when the market rises, because you doubled down, tripled down, and quadrupled down here, when the market rises, you will have more money. And then when it gets further away or it starts to get frothy, you start putting less in there. And I do the same thing with my crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, ETH, Link, you name it. That's what I did with those. It's called value cost averaging. Now, I want to say one last thing, okay? I want to talk to you guys for a minute. When I said sell it all, I meant it to the people that complain. For those of you that's been with me through 150 plays, right? And you've been riding the gravy train. You've been winning. And now we go through this season and you're complaining. Somebody literally came on here and said, Larry said to load up on XRP at the top. Now, you know that's a lie. And it's not just me. I talked to other influencers and they are getting the same thing. All of them. Every influence I know on this page. Well, I want to tell you something. Tom Lee said that 80% of hedge fund managers underperformed because they missed the V-shaped recovery. And me, the crew, Josh, Keenan Mo, Chris Sane, all of these guys, we have been killing this market consistently. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. When the market is up, and I said it, we were the best things since sliced pie, since apple pie, right? When the market is down, it's your fault. And I can tell the person at YOLO in at the top, because those are the one that starts complaining. If you see anything in the comment sections on any of our page and you know it's a lie, them telling the lie don't that's really no big deal. It's like this, right? We slaying giants. We ain't flicking ants. But when a couple of you guys start to like it, that's when you go, you know what? I should just stop doing this and I can just trade. I can do options every day. I can just put more money in and make on average 40, 50% a day. And I don't have to worry about the headaches. But I'm never going to leave you guys. Just like in 2022, I was there all the way down. As a matter of fact, people were coming from other pages watching me. There were people every single day. I hate you. You stink. Blah, 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 blah. And I came all through 2022, 10 toes down, stood here, told you guys where we were, what I was buying. And I am up. And a lot of you guys are up for that. So help us out. And not just me, all of our pages. You see crap. You see them saying crap. You know it's not right. Hit the thumbs down button and tell them and rebuke them. You got my permission. Respectfully. All right. All right, good people. I know yesterday I was looking at it. It just wasn't looking good. But again, I'm holding on my crypto long. It's painful. We could go back down. By the time you see this, crypto can be below 90 again. It is what it is. All right. And the market could further fall. But I think that there could be, I didn't say there is, there could be a window of opportunity that for this time period, the big falling could slow down by Wednesday evening. Okay. So Thursday, we should have some sort of, I would say by Thursday, most of the fall should be over by Thursday, closing bell. Hopefully. I don't know what's going to come out. I don't know what the president is going to say. I don't know what the tweet is going to say. He could say, I'm firing Jerome Powell. The things will go wacky. We don't know. It's too many moving parts. My first investment was 92. I've never seen a market like this before. And I was in the .com. All right. That's how I lost my money in 92. And I didn't say that it was rigged. I knew that I didn't have an understanding. Okay, good people. So help us there. Make sure you hit the like button, and then make sure you use coupon code LEARN and learn how to do options here, because not only do I have a full crypto class there, I got a full options for dummy class there, right? I'm just going to continue to go. And you guys help me. I'm going to keep helping you guys. I ain't going nowhere. We got to get to the promised land together. Live, love, laugh, and learn.